Hey everyone, welcome on in to another build tutorial video. I thought in honor of it being May the 4th earlier this week, we couldn't of course give you the X-Wing video without a video for our little TIE Fighter friend here. This is again a build from our LEGO Masters Challenge. So we're gonna dive on in and show you how to build this awesome little thing today. So let's check it out. Alrighty friends, as always I do want to remind you that builds like this come to life live on Twitch. We stream there 4 times a week doing all sorts of LEGO and gaming fun, so just make sure you come on by and get in on that action. I always take inspiration from you guys and all of your amazing suggestions, and it's really what keeps inspiring me to just keep building, so make sure you get in there and join in on the fun. Let's dive in and check out our TIE Fighter here. So we've got this guy here. He's got 121 pieces. I tried to just keep it simple. I needed it to be recognizable. I was building this under a time limit. And honestly, I don't even think I would really say I'd make any changes. I maybe don't love that technically the shaping on the outside of this is more 8-sided than 6-sided. But I think with the way that we did the tiling on the outside, it kind of works to make it look like it's a 6-sided, shape for the TIE Fighter. But I really love the way the cockpit came together. And really the next thing is for us to just tear this bad boy down so we can rebuild it, and I can show you guys how we did that. So let's fast forward through that and get to building. Alrighty friends, we've got all our pieces laid out here. Now we move on to the fun part. Can Nick remember how to build this? Let's just get started. We're gonna start with a 2x3 plate in the middle. It's funny because when I was going to digitally build this, and you guys can find a digital model in the description of the video if you want to download that, so you can check it out in a little bit more detail, see some efficiencies that I improved in the build because I was missing some pieces. But what's kind of funny is that I actually made a mistake while I was doing it because I wanted to try and improve some stuff, but realized that I had designed certain things in a way that they needed to be in order to make the build work. So I know the base of our build is like this, and the core of our build is 3x3, but I couldn't use a 3x3 plate there because of a special piece that I needed to be able to connect. I know these guys are kind of like the tips that the wings will connect onto, so we'll go ahead and get those on now. And then we used, oops, that's in the wrong spot. Just kind of building out our center like that. You used these new, I love these pieces. They're like 1x1 bars or 1x1 round plates with a bar on it. And that's actually how we connect both the engine and the cockpit, which we'll see in a little bit once we get onto that part. I just got to remember how this assembly kind of comes together. I know these guys go here. These were kind of to help build out a little bit of rounded shaping here. That's why we used the headlight bricks with the tiles. Although I was thinking you might be able to use a 1x1 with a 1x2 tile, but I'm not too sure how that would have looked. I could just decided to leave it like this, but you can always, play around and experiment and see what kind of works for you. I know in the middle here we had some plates locking everything in. We had some more slopes on top of that. And then I think what we had is 2 1x3s in the middle that allow us to connect over to the next section. That feels right. And then we've got this guy here in the middle, and then another one up top. Perfect. And then I know I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit here, grab these pieces. Again, this is a place where a little bit more optimization could come into play. You could have used a 1x3 tile on top there, and that would have kind of locked things in a little bit more nicely. And then we're gonna do the front part here, which is why it required us to have a 3x3 instead, or a 1x3 plate instead of a 3x3 plate. And that's because I needed to be able to do that connection right there. So sorry, let me show you that again. Get this off if I can. So in order to be able to connect this piece here, which allows us to have the blaster in the middle because it has no studs on the bottom. This is one of the new 1x3 jumpers. You can connect that right into the middle of it, so that creates for some really nice alignment. We put a jumper in there because I thought it looked a little bit cleaner than a regular plate. But then again, the only way I can connect this piece, if I had a 2x3 plate there, it wouldn't connect. So that's why I have a 1x3 plate integrated instead. And then actually that reminds me that this guy needs to go first. So there we go. So that guy goes there, this goes here, and that makes for an assembly that we can connect everything to. So perfect, I remembered, yay me. All right. So we're again doing the jumper or the headlight bricks with the tiles on them. And then we're locking it in with a 1x2 tile and a 1x1 tile. Again, a 1x3 tile would be better here. and then we start to work on all the dishes. So we just have a blank one for the top. We've got a 2x2 round jumper with hole on the bottom, and that actually makes for a nice connection point for you to, like, you know, have it floating or flying through an area. That's how I connected it to the main build for the Lego Masters Challenge. And then we've got both the cockpit and the engine here. So the engine, I use a 2x2 round tile with hole in it without the stud on it, and we just connect that right on. And then I'm actually putting a 1x1 transparent plate on the back of that, and then a 1x1 round plate on that to create a little bit of an engine kind of jet stream or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they're quite called in the Star Wars universe, but and then that whole of the dish actually goes right onto the bar there, and you can see that quite nicely sits centered. Then you can rotate everything to get it aligned just the way that you like on there. And then our cockpit, very simply, is a dish, or a trans black 2x2 dish on a 3x3 light gray dish, and once again takes advantage of the bar there to get connected onto there. And we got our little cockpit of our TIE fighter. So next up is to do the wings. These are done exactly the same way mirrored, so I'm actually gonna build them both at the same time. I always like giving myself a little bit of that challenge. Whether or not you decide to do that is entirely up to you. And honestly, when you make a mistake, you're making it twice, so you gotta be extra careful and be really confident that you know what you're doing so you don't accidentally mess it up. But I'm feeling pretty good about the wings here. So I think we'll be a-okay to assemble these at the same time. So we used some of the new 1x1 modified plates with bar on them, and then we've got just some 1x2 plates. Admittedly, it would have been nice if there were some 1x2 modified plates with clips with a tiled surface instead, but you know, can't always get what you want. Like, you can't make every possible variation of a piece. That would be a little bit much for them to manage, for sure. And I'm leaving those pieces flared out. Those are eventually going to be bent back in to help create that shaping on the outside. We're gonna do this guy here, and this guy here, and this is another place. Again, I didn't have a lot of 1x3 plates in black, but if you have them, you could use them, but you can always just use whatever equivalent of those pieces you have otherwise. And then we've got the 1x3 brick, and I kind of messed up the way. Oh no, actually I need to do 2 layers of plates, sorry. 1x3 brick needs to come off quick. I need to do, see me doing this mirrored thing, it's gonna mess me up. Let's see if I can keep it together for you guys. There we go. Now we've got our 2 layers there, and then we're going to be connecting some Snot bricks. These are the 2x2 or the 1x1 corner Snot bricks, so they have studs on 2 sides adjacent to each other, not opposite. And that allows you to do some really fantastic connections. It's definitely become one of my favorite pieces very quickly, as it allows you to really build in quite a bit of a different way than you know, we used to be able to, because it was very hard to build things at corners or have, you know, very close connections at corners without getting very complicated. And this has really simplified a lot of the building that I personally like to do. So we've got some 1x1 plates here, and this actually is what flanks the connection to the main body, which we may do. I think we'll go ahead and just do that right now. There's no harm in doing that. So onto the main body they go. You could arguably like build the whole 2 halves and then connect them together, but I think for the way that this is going to come together, it makes a little bit more sense to do it this way. So we're now going to kind of lock that in on both sides, and I'll just leave it downwards like that. Lock that in as well. Boom. And then we've got a couple more of the Snot bricks here, and we are indeed taking advantage of some Lego math here. 2 plates is always the spacing you want between 2 different Snot bricks, because that makes for a distance of 3 studs. So you can connect something across those 3 studs, which we're going to do on the side. We're not doing it in the middle, it's on the side that we do that connection. Let me flip that around, repeat that here. Boom, boom. The studs on the outside here are going to be how we connect the, I don't know what you would call it, the strips on the solar panels on the wings, so that we can get that nice 6-sided shape look. Okay, looking good, looking good. I think we're gonna slightly change the way that I built this up, but we're just gonna go right up to the top on both sides. Again, I'm using 1x2 and 1x1 bricks instead of a 1x3, but obviously you could go either way, or just use whatever you have on hand. And then we're gonna lock that in. I did have one 1x3 plate here at least, which was nice. Well, actually, let me put that on top of the other one for some better locking. Always good to kind of interlock things whenever you can, and you know, lock them all in with bigger pieces when possible. So that's what I'm going to do here, because we need 2 layers of plates. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Ooh. That's all nicely connected. That's all nicely connected as well. And then we're gonna kind of close in the top, or almost do it actually. This is where I'm actually gonna now rebuild or build the assembly that's gonna go in between. So we're using these Snot bricks here, and we're building up basically these little sections with some 1x3 slopes, one of the new jumpers, and then a tile on the edge of that. And I just thought I liked the way that kind of created a little bit of the shaping that we need. And you can see that goes right onto the side here. Kind of got to tuck it in, but boom. So that goes there. And then we'll just do the same thing 3 more times, because this is being repeated 4 times total. So we got that one. It's gonna go in there. Ooh. And then basically at this point, we can tilt that up and kind of angle that where it needs to go. We're gonna do the same thing over here. Some 1x3 slopes, 1x1 plate, 1x3 jumper. And have I really learned to love these guys? They've definitely become a big lifesaver for a lot of my building. Some more slopes. And again, guys, I always encourage you, if you don't have these exact pieces I have on hand, just try and find the closest you can get to, and just get creative with your own designs. As long as you get the general shape and appearance, it really doesn't take much for something to become recognizable to someone, or for them to be able to say, hey, that must be this thing. So don't be afraid to just try things out and make it work however you need to. Use whatever pieces you have on hand. Don't let the amount or lack of Lego that you have restrict you from having some fun building, Never, never, never. Alrighty. So we kind of locked in those pieces on the top there. We can connect these clips here now. Boom. And boom. Same thing on the other side. Connect them. Tilt. Connect. Tilt. And then last but not least, of course, is the tiling. So this is actually getting connected onto the second little part there. It's not going right on the end. Just for a little bit. Oops, man, and I'm really having a hard time getting that on. There we go. So that goes like that. And then you just kind of angle it towards the corner, whatever you think looks visually okay. And the reason that one's set down, whereas this one does go right on the end, is so that it kind of all covers up that center area there, or for the most part anyways, and kind of helps keep the appearance of the 6-sidedness a little bit more. And then I think actually what I had done for my own reference was I lined up the edge of the 1x4 tiles with the edge of the 1x3 tile on the top and the 1x3 plate on the bottom, so they have a little bit more of an equal looking pattern there. So you can always use different places on your Lego builds as reference points for when you're doing a little bit more of a loose connection like this that allows you to angle things. All right, and our last 2 pieces here, angling it and angling it, and boom, we have got a TIE fighter. Of course, I use this piece as well. That way you could put little trans-green pieces on there, and it could look like it's shooting some, lasers at the X-Wings or A-Wings or B-Wings or whatever it might be chasing from the Rebels. But yeah, it turned out really cool. I think it looks awesome. And just thank you so much, guys, for joining me for some more Lego building fun. We'll see you soon. Have a good one, and happy building out there.